been a while since I've made a video. I guess I just haven't felt very inspired recently and haven't really had anything that I wanted to talk about. But now I'm going through a depressive episode, so I'm gonna chat about it. I woke up this morning feeling pretty terrible for no real reason. And I guess I've been feeling not great for a while, and then it's just all kind of come and hit me today. So I don't know, I kind of wanted to talk about depression in general and kind of how that can manifest and what that can be like, and things that I try to do to kind of get myself out of depressive episodes. Because sometimes I think if you have depression, you can kind of understand sometimes they just come for no reason. Sometimes nothing bad will happen, you'll be doing fine, and all of a sudden you'll just be depressed, and there's no real rhyme or reason to it. So I think that's kind of what's happening to me now, although I do feel there are some external factors that are contributing to how I'm feeling. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair. It's what the heck do I do with this mess? So I was all right, I'll throw on some makeup. I'll put on earrings, and I'll make a video. You know, I washed my hair relatively recently, and as you can see, look at those bags under my eyes. Do you guys see that? It's horrendous. I have the biggest bags under my eyes all the time. I think they're genetic. I need to get under eye cream or something for my bags because they are ridiculous. Could also be from crying today. But I'm gonna try to make it through this video with no crying. What's that movie where she's cry on the inside like a winner? What movie was that? Was it Neighbors or something? I don't remember. Anyway. So, I guess let's talk about it. How can depression manifest itself? I think a lot of people who don't experience it, maybe it's just feeling sad, they think it's just you feel sad, or you're crying all the time. But that's not necessarily how it is. Or sometimes something bad can happen in your life and you can go through a period of situational depression, which makes sense based on something that happened in your life. But then sometimes it's just a state of being, and it's something that you kind of have to work on getting out of every single day. I don't know, it's not just feeling sad. Sometimes it's being so tired all the time and just sleeping. Whenever I'm not at work, I'm sleeping, and I hate that. Because I am a kind of person where I like to go out and I like to do things and I like to be involved in things and, you know, having hobbies and having a life other than work. But sometimes it takes so much effort, you know, to wake up and make breakfast, put on clothing, put on basic makeup, you know. Sometimes it takes so much effort just to do the littlest things, and then afterwards you're exhausted and you're I literally can't do anything else today. I just woke up a few hours ago and I literally just want to go back to sleep. It sucks, the fatigue, I think, and the not having any motivation to do anything. Or for me, it manifests in texting people back. I can't do it. It's so hard for me to text people back, even my grandparents, my friends. Just the thought of having to formulate a response and then have them respond to me and then have to formulate another response back is so daunting to me that I can't even, sometimes I just can't even fathom doing it. So there's the loss of motivation, there's the fatigue, there's just kind of like the feeling of like pointlessness, where you're kind of just like, what is the point of my life? Not in like a way that it's like my life is pointless, but sometimes it's like, why am I even here, you know? And I think with like all the other stuff that's going on in the world right now, it's like the world is so horrible. I don't know. And sometimes it feels selfish to be depressed, even though I know that's something that like I can't control. And like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else like can relate to that or like feels like a similar way. Like it's something that's hard to really, I guess, put into words. So there's definitely kind of like the feeling of just like pointlessness. It's like kind of why do anything, like even though I want to, it's just like it feels so daunting and so hard sometimes. And then the feeling of like self-loathing, like sometimes I like hate myself, even though I know I don't have any like really good reason to. Like I'll go to therapy and like, I don't know, sometimes my therapists like are not helpful at all, because I'll be like, yeah, I feel like I hate myself, like I feel like I'm the worst person in the world. And they're like, well, why? What did you do? Like, what is the reason? And it's like, sometimes there's just not a reason. Like sometimes it's just the way you feel, you know? And there's not really like any rhyme or reason to it. It's just like the way your mind is like making you feel right now. So like sometimes like I literally feel like I am the most horrible person who has ever existed on the face of the planet. And it's like, I wish I was just anybody else, like anybody else in the world. Even though I know that's not true, because like there's literally like serial killers and like people who have done like horrible, terrible things. But then sometimes I feel like any person that comes into my life, like I ruin their lives. Like, and I know that like that's not true, but sometimes I feel like I am just like a walking disaster. Like, I don't know. Like that I just keep hurting people and like negatively affecting people's lives. And I don't know why I keep doing that, and I don't know why I make the decisions that I do. And I think another part of like the depression is like making like reckless decisions, you know? It's like you just want to like feel something, you know, that's not like this numbness. Like just this pure like nothingness. Like you just want to feel like something. And like that's hard, because then you end up hurting people in the process. So that's the way sometimes depression can manifest, I think. It's the way it manifests in my life. So it's hard to talk about, but I think it's good to talk about. I think it's good to get all your feelings out and have them out in the world. Look at my hands. Why do I have little baby hands? Sorry. So, what are some things that we can do to combat this depression? Because I don't want this just to be a video of me talking about how sad I am right now. Like, I want it to be a video where I can have some tips and tricks to, not getting out of it, but just like going through it, you know, making it work. I saw this tweet today. It was by like Johnny Sun. He's really good at Twitter. I really like his tweets. And it was like, what if you told your past self that one day you'd be able to do anything that you wanted and you choose to stay home by yourself every day? And I'm like, damn, that's true. And I think that's another reason that like adds to my depression. Like, is I do live by myself and my family is not near me. My family is like a 2-hour plane ride away, and I live alone. So I wake up alone, I go to bed alone. It's like, sometimes you just wish you had someone, you know? But we're making it work. So what are some things that we can do to get out of this slump that we feel? I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts yesterday. It's called My Favorite Murder, and they had this really good tip, and it was like, pick one thing and do it once a week. Like, just start by picking one thing and just do it once a week. And then that's a thing that you're doing, you know? And I think that's really good advice, like, because sometimes if I'm like depressed and I'm trying to get out of it, I'm like, okay, let's think about all the things that I can do, all the things that I can get involved in. Like, you know, write it all down, start making plans to do all these things, and I'll get like this rush of like motivation, and then the next day it's gone, and it's like I have all these like half began projects that like I just can't even, it's so overwhelming that I can't even look at them anymore. So I really like that idea of like picking one thing and doing it once a week, and just picking like, and then you know, adding on the next week. Like this week I went to a hot yoga class, and that made me feel good. So that is one thing that I did. I went to a hot yoga class, I did it. That is something that I did. And then next week, I am going to apply to volunteer to the Pittsburgh Area Rape Crisis Center. And I'm putting out into the universe because I really want to do that. And then the next week, I'm gonna sign up for Spanish classes. And then I just keep adding on. But like, don't like try to do everything at once. Like, try to just do one thing a week and make that your goal. Like, have one goal a week, and then meet it and just do it once. So that's something that kind of gives you something to look forward to, and then it gives you some kind of purpose. Like, my job does give me purpose, but then at the same time, like, I don't want my whole life just to be my job, you know? Even though I do really, really enjoy what I do, I don't want that to be the only thing I do. So that's a really good tip, I think. It's like just taking it slowly, not even day by day, like literally like week by week. Like, just pick one thing a week to do and then do it. So I think that is a really helpful tip that I have. Also, just like self-care. And I think self-care, you know, that's such a popular term right now that a lot of people use. And I think self-care can be more than just like taking baths. I don't even like taking baths. I get so overheated. I can only be in a bath for like 10 minutes. And self-care, like, I don't want my self-care all the time to be drinking wine, because that is like a one-way ticket to, you know, a bad pancreas. Like, I really don't want to just be taking baths and drinking wine all the time. Or shopping, like self-care doesn't necessarily have to involve spending money, even though shopping is like really nice. Sometimes I'll just like think about things that I want to buy, and I'll just put things in baskets like on online shopping, but I won't buy it. But even just doing that act of like putting things in like my shopping bag on websites, like, it's kind of nice. This is self-care for me. Making these videos is self-care. I think anything like a creative outlet can be really good at self-care, like writing, even just like coloring. Like, I have a coloring book. I really like it. I'm coloring in a picture of a cat, and I'm gonna hang it over Kiwi's food and water dish. Snuggling with Kiwi is a form of self-care. Reading, like just going outside into my backyard by the river and reading, and, you know, like donating to causes. It's like a really good form of self-care, because then you kind of feel like you're doing something good. Like, there's a lot of charities right now, like for the I'll link the one that I like down below for the Amazon rainforest. There's one that I saw that I really liked, and it's like you're doing something, like you're donating, you are helping in some way, and it makes you feel good, you know? Sometimes listening to sad music can be good, but sometimes it can just make you feel more sad. So another form of self-care that I do is like listening to a musical and then just like singing all the parts and singing it like so hard and like just like getting it all out there, and you're like, I'm in a musical and I am singing all of these feelings, and it can be like so therapeutic. Also, just like calling my mom, and if you don't have a good relationship with your mom, like just calling a family member or a friend that you care about and just talking to them, and not even talking to them about like how you're feeling depressed, like just like asking them about their day and just like chatting about random stuff can help you like feel less bad for a little bit. And I think that's the most we can do, is just try to do stuff that helps us feel less bad, even just for a little bit, you know? Because sometimes it like comes and goes, like the waves of depression, or they come and they go and they'll come back again, but I think it's good to have strong coping skills that you can utilize when you do fall into a depressive episode, and that is something that I am working on. So that's just where I'm at right now. It's just how I'm feeling. Why does my hair do that? So, oh my god, I look real 80s, I think, with the earrings and then all this big hair. So that's just my thoughts on the subject matter and just how I am feeling right now at this juncture. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you feel this way ever, and if you have any tips that you use to help yourself get out of depressive episodes, because like it sucks, you know, like it's hard, and you know, especially when there's no reason. I don't know, it's just hard, but it's important to, you know, engage with the community and come together and share what works for us, and share our insights and share our own coping skills in the hopes that it can positively affect somebody else. So it's just a little video for today. It did make me feel a little bit better kind of talking about it and getting it out there. So thank you if you did watch, and have a great day.